My name is Carl,
My name's Oscar,
and this is Who Would Watch This?
where we review bad films and decide who would watch this.
Well, apart from us.
Okay, Carl, what are we going to be talking about today?
It's every time. I
Every
love that.
time.
Okay, Carl. Okay.
We like to let everyone kind of get in, like a comfy blanket.
Okay. We need to start getting closer to the mic. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about The Adventures of Pluto Nash. It currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 4%, an IMDb score of 3.8%, a Letterboxd score of 1.5%, and it is currently ranked 96 on the bottom 100 on IMDb. Oscar, what's the plot?
Do you want a sentence? Because that's what
Yeah,
you're
just
getting.
give us a sentence.
In the future, a man struggles to keep his lunar nightclub out of the hands of the mafia.
Sure.
That's it.
Did you know the plot before going in?
No, I knew nothing.
Yeah, I didn't. I just chucked it on and watched it.
Yeah.
And I was pretty upset.
Straight off the bat, this is like somehow the most offensively nothing film I've ever seen.
Yeah. I feel like I have a harsh summary at the end of my notes where I was like, well, this is my opinion on the movie, and I just wrote it down.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a little defeated.
Yeah, this was like, and like, I'm glad because it didn't make any money, but like, it seemed like from like no one cared.
Like, I couldn't imagine picking up this script and going, oh, I'll give it 100 million.
No, it was Eddie Murphy because he...
I'm sure Eddie Murphy was a lot into the early 2000s.
He was about 20 million, people roughly think.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think that's fair. You're not getting $20 million worth of Eddie Murphy. He's fucking not trying.
What do you mean? You get two Eddie Murphys.
That's how they were trying to capitalize their money? I don't know, put two of them in.
That's at least 5 million.
Oh, God. When this movie starts, do you have anything else to talk about before we go into the
No,
thing?
I'm just angry, honestly. Let's just start it. Fuck it.
Yeah, when this movie starts, I was like, wow, what a product of the 2000s. There was that music and those graphics, and I was like, the fuck is this?
I was kind of vibing it.
Oh, I was a bit too, and I went, oh, is this going to be the first one I love?
Yeah.
Oh, seconds later, no.
No.
Absolutely not. The intro is far too long. It comes up being like it's 2078 or something like that. And Eddie's already really sad, really bored, barely fucking given anything. This poor guy is up on a stage in a kilt.
Yeah.
And they talk about that kilt for like what feels like 10 minutes. They're trying to be banter. There's no comedy.
Well, like, let's go into this. This is technically like a mystery comedy.
It's a mystery sci-fi comedy.
That's... What did it... Because I don't think they try to be a comedy. In like the
No,
nicest way.
it's what threw me off in the terms of the fact that I think they went, if we have Eddie can be the comedy.
Yeah.
Like, through charisma, or he can improv some jokes.
Yeah.
And then I think, because it's like a PG film or something like that, nuded that, maybe? Or, I don't know. But he doesn't seem into it, so maybe he just wasn't even... There's one part where I was like, oh, that's them trying to be a joke, and it's a very sexist joke.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. There's like 5 sexist jokes. But I'll go on that point. Eddie Murphy, so this film was made, he like fought with the director. It's the director of
He's done something of merit. He did that H1.
Tremors.
Oh yeah, Tremors.
Tremors, yeah. And he was pretty much fighting with Eddie Murphy the whole time.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was like, fuck it. He pretty much finished. It was like a massive 3.5 hour film. The editor...
What?
Yeah, it was massive. The editor, who's...
Oh, you know what? That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. And then this Oscar-winning editor walks in and is like, no, you can't do that. So then Eddie...
Who was the editor? What had he done?
He done... Oh, let me have a look. 2 seconds.
No, it costs a lot of money to get a named editor. Because I had a friend who's documentary, and they got the editor of Driving Miss Daisy, and he was more than the budget or something like that, I think.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This guy's name is Alan Haim.
Yep.
He directed American Psycho, all that jazz. Just sort of a very large editor. He's done some pretty notable stuff.
He directed or edited?
Edited.
Okay, yeah. Oh, he did Alpha Dog.
He did.
I like Alpha Dog.
Yeah, so he came in and was like, no. So then Eddie Murphy... So it seems like... It's weird because Eddie Murphy then had to come back, direct a bit of it, pay with his own money to finish the film.
Ah.
But I think he just gave up.
Yeah.
He was just like, it's not worth saving.
It's weird. I feel like if you tweak it, perhaps there's if you had like a really good dramatic director, you could tweak this into like an interesting sci-fi drama because of the cloning stuff that's going. It's very much like a bit Blade Runner-y.
Oh, it's the definition of Blade Runner, but like but made. I think a child at 8 got sat down and watched Blade Runner, and then was like, "Okay, cool, write a script." Ooh, yeah.
I've got so many things where I've just written Valerian. Just over and over and over again, I'm like, Valerian.
I don't know what
it's just being Valerian.
It's just like Blade Runner came out and they were like, we're going to do... Every bad sci-fi film was like, we're going to do that, but worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, is Blade... Because Blade Runner's Warner Brothers, isn't it? So do you reckon they recycled sets for this? Like, the fact that they spent $100 million on this.
And like, give it this.
Set-wise, it shows.
I think set-wise and like extras-wise, every time there was like a shot, there's this one shot where they're running down an alley. Like
the overhead one? Yeah, fantastic. But then also, I would say on top of that, it's not directed in any sort of glamorous or like showboaty way.
No.
So it looks really flat.
Yeah.
And like, it's not very colourful. No. It doesn't feel like it's very vibrant.
No.
So they've spent all this money on these sets and then they haven't really got a way to demonstrate it. It's kind of like Cats.
Yeah.
Where the Cats had these big, beautiful sets, and then, like, had this, like, just
James.
close-up direct...
His anus spread open.
Do you see somebody found a stray butthole?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the cut?
Yeah, that's, like, our golden snitch now. So next time, one of us needs to try and find a stray butthole that somebody didn't, like, delete.
Oh, I'm so keen for Cats. We're doing that in, like... Oh, yeah. But...
Oh, God. If we're not dead, or this podcast is dead...
Pretty much, yeah, the shots are like, it's so expensive.
It's so expensive. I would even say at the end, when he's like fighting with himself and stuff, it's done pretty flawlessly.
Oh, I was just like, there was one scene where he's like, we'll go into the plot, but just real quickly.
What plot?
Yeah,
what fucking...
I can summarize it in a line.
I get how this would be 3 hours, because they cut out any of the joining shit that you would need to make it coherent. I constantly don't know how they get from, like, scene to scene.
No.
It makes such little sense.
It does.
I always feel like it was greenlit on the twist, and they thought the twist was going to be able to, like, uphold it.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, I'm like, if framed right, and if you have the ingredients there, then maybe the twist of that, the big villain's cloned, could be interesting.
It could, yeah.
Or, like, that could, like... And I feel like that was them being like, well, this has to be a thing, then, because I like the twist.
It would work in another film. I don't know how it could work, but, like, this film just, like, Eddie Murphy. Oh,
they have absolutely no, like... There's nothing... I don't know, there's nothing showy.
No.
It's so flat. Like, I kind of get how it's the director of Tremors, because that's, like, low budget, low scale, like, but fun.
Yeah.
Kind of romp. And this is just so big. Like, it's so... There's a part where everybody's dancing in unison.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucking weird. It was like a cult dancing. But I'm like, you had to get all of the extras to do that, you know, without music. So everyone's... They're dancing a little bit, and then somebody decides, like, and we hold, and then we keep it going. And we hold, and we keep it going.
And you just think, just like, every time that popped up, we go, that was about $1 million. That was $500,000.
Oh, I was constantly like, money.
Yeah.
Money. There. They're just fucking... You might as well have just burned your fucking cash.
Honestly, we'll get into cash.
That's
a segue.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, what are we up to? So yeah, Pluto is in this bar. He's like with a Scottish man who's like, he's bad at his singing. If it sounds boring...
It is.
It is.
It is. I was... 5 minutes in, I was appalled.
Yeah.
Appalled at the... I wish I could get up the script and read some dialogue or something like that. In terms of just them being back and forth, like... Very boringly, like, I don't know, why don't you just not wear a kilt? No, I don't know, it's part of my ancestry. I don't know, why don't you pretend to be Italian then? Oh yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe your name could be this. Yeah, you're right, I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
It was that.
That's the opening.
Yeah, and then you're like...
Of a sci-fi comedy.
But it's such a weird opening, because it's just like this tiny... It's essentially all it builds up to is that Pluto Nash, has bought this bar to save his friend who's like Scottish because he's in debt to the mafia. Eddie Murphy's like, I'm Pluto Nash. You guys know me. Is he famous?
I guess he's a famous smuggler?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. You can cut this whole opening.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking lead to any... Just let him be like an old smuggler con artist turned nightclub owner and fucking open the... Like, I wonder if it was added? Like, is it a reshoot? I don't know.
Surprised.
It's so weird.
They all seem it's a weird way to open the movie.
It is.
Then it immediately cuts to 8 years later.
Yeah.
And the movie kind of starts there.
Yeah. I don't know. I've written, what is this? Why is this a film?
Yeah. There's a lot of that when it comes to it.
There hasn't been a single joke. I've written this, but 10 minutes in, there hasn't been a single joke.
And it's not like Holmes and Watson where you're like, there's technically...
They're trying to do jokes.
They're just not working. This comedy... It's just
There's
a sci-fi mystery. That's really it.
I genuinely did not smile once. Did you?
No.
Were you... Was there a single part where you went, yeah?
I thought at the start I was going to like the robot. I was kind of like, oh, here we go. And... Because I like... Have you ever seen Red Dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah, the robot and that. I like him.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it'd be that character, like sort of a C-3PO.
Yeah. No, because they've got Randy Quaid. If you thought there was going to be any finesse or good comedy to it, and then I was like, no, it's Randy Quaid.
Somehow, I think he's the funniest in the film.
He's the only one that I think, but then again, I hate him.
Yeah.
I just absolutely hate him.
The bar's so on the ground. It's just like I can't even think of a joke he made. I can think of a bad joke that got made, but I can't think of one that was
The only part that I was like, oh, that maybe could be like a thing, but it wasn't, is she's like, I've lost my moon card. And I'm like, what is that, fucking world building? You trying to create a society of people rocking with their moon card?
Oh, that's so lame. Well, that's my biggest issue with this film. Why is it on the moon? Why is it like a sci-fi?
No fucking understanding. It's literally... You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if... Have you seen Ad Astra?
No.
Oh, okay. Ad Astra is so much like this movie. Not in terms of the quality, but there's like weird beats and it being set on the moon and society and things, and I'm like... I feel like somebody sat down, watched Ad Astra and went, what if I made it super fucking serious and scientifically accurate in parts?
Wait, so watch Pluto Nash and was like, let's make it scientific.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that a recommend on Ad Astra?
Oh, love Ad Astra. Hated this. Also, Hillary's on the money.
Oh, we can, like, it's such a... This is probably, like, the only reason, other than the fact that this film cost 100 million, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
It made 4 million.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it lost 92 million. That's like
it's
a big...
crazy to me. Crazy that you couldn't muster 4 million. Like, that's worldwide, right? Or 7 million worldwide?
7 million worldwide.
Yeah. So you're telling me in the middle of a fucking pandemic, more people went and saw New Mutants opening weekend in America than this movie made in its entire run.
Which had
in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh yeah, and that also had a similar... This got pushed back like 2 years. I think the script got written in 1981 or something like that.
Oh, it feels it.
It does feel... dated, but like, I don't know if that's just a bad film, but it does feel a bit dated.
Yeah, because it's also, on top of it, it's very, like, Total Recall-y. Without any of the entertainment value, or any of, like, the fun blood and gore.
No.
Like, did you see if there was, like, a more adult cut of this film?
Not really. They were kind of aiming for this sort of PG. It wasn't really ever aimed to be, like, a super... Like, I was expecting, like, oh, maybe it's R, but the 3.5 hour edit really wasn't... I think they just had more, and the editor was like, no, get rid of it. Yeah.
Also, they, like, bring in the name of, like, Rex Crater, and I hate all the names in this. Why are people named Pluto Nash and Rex Crater in the year 2087?
It's not like it's... did this sound like... That's, like, first, like, template names, like, we'll call it something better. They just never got around to it.
It's a space film. I want there to be a crater name. Oh, like, fuck this. Fuck this movie.
It's really...
I'm literally annoyed reading my notes. He mixes a martini in his mouth.
What's his...
The club fucking blows up.
Yeah.
No excitement, no shock.
Right. What's up with, like... Okay, there's an explosion in a movie. I can't think of any movie that has an explosion that's not, like, at least somewhat exciting. This film just, like... Hey, there's an explosion.
Oh, yeah, they're standing there and it's like... Boop.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, what's happened? Why is Rosario Dawson in this film?
Oh.
She doesn't contribute. She's like shoehorned in as like a character. Like it could have been his wife or anything else. But she rocks up and is like, I hear you can get me a gig. Is this the same day that he's hired her? This happens?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a night of.
Yeah, so it's like a 2-day adventure.
Yeah.
And what, they're like into each other by the end?
Oh,
like it's weird.
That's probably the worst part of the movie is like they get they get together because like he does that cliche of like kiss me, they're looking and they kiss, and then she gives this look of like, oh, maybe I am.
I like you did kiss me. They're looking. Go on.
And then she's like, maybe I am in love with you. I'm like,
on what? Based on what?
Yeah, because Pluto is probably the most boring person. I don't think he has anything.
He has. Look, like, we'll talk about the fact that, like, in a screenplay, your main characters need to have, like, something they want and then something they need and, like, a thing that's learned.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know anything about him.
No.
He doesn't change at the end of the movie whatsoever.
I think he's literally right back at the start.
Yeah.
He just has a perfect
he does this
circle.
he does this whole adventure. The whole thing happens and his life hasn't changed.
No.
Like a bit. He's lost his club and he just simply rebuilds it.
He has a clone. He like falls in love. He goes on all these things because he's not like he's flawed at the start. He's quite like he saves his friend.
Yeah,
he's like everyone likes him.
He's whatever like a male Mary Sue is.
Yeah,
essentially, like he hasn't got any flaws.
No,
he overcomes pretty much everything with such ease. Like,
he's just given unlimited money. I can't believe that was like. He just has lots of money from scavenging, I guess. Smuggling, sorry. Yeah. And as a result, he faces no obstacles. So often he'll pay his way out of it and they're like, cool.
Ugh. I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. I know there's an action scene. The fact that they have a character named Bruno and Pluto annoyed me. Yeah. Don't have two characters and like last names with Pluto. Udo.
It was that. I didn't know who the robot's name was for quite a long time.
Guy from Everyone Loves Raymond's in this.
Which one's he?
The dad from Everyone Loves Raymond. He's playing pool. He's only gets killed.
You mean Old Man Withers from Scooby-Doo 2?
Oh yeah, sorry. My mistake.
Sorry. God, let's. Oh,
God. There's a nice shot where they do the pool and all the balls roll back up and form a triangle and like.
Yeah, there's fun. One shot where Eddie Murphy does this cool pool shot. I think I just write cool pool shot. Yeah. That's it.
There's a pizza machine next to them. There's nothing inspired about this. It's so lazy. There's nothing about this future that's like interesting or new or fresh.
You've seen it before. Like, I just can't believe... I'm just like, I get like why it's so low, but you can't... There's nothing to really go... It's not like Sherlock, like Watson and Holmes and Watson where it's like super unfunny, awful. This is like the definition of just a bland Hollywood like blockbuster.
Like, you know, the Valerian at least has a much more inspired points throughout it. Like, it creates a society where like all of the aliens like live in this hub, like every single kind. The 1,000 different like species live. There's multiple dimension travel and like an arm gets stuck in like I don't have like an endorsement for Valerian. I don't think it's that great.
No.
But in they're very similar in terms of I think there's like a blandness to them.
Oh yeah.
And like just a weird moon society and it's just very predictable storytelling. But at least that has action sequences that are quite exciting.
That's an original idea. The portal thing, it's like in the fourth dimension, I can't remember, the fifth dimension or something.
Yeah. It's like a marketplace and the arm gets stuck, which is fun. There's like a part where he has that suit that's able to run through literally everything. Yeah. Like, there's fun things. Like, I don't know what's clever about... I don't know, they fucking run it like it's... Like, there's not a single new or interesting action set piece in this.
They kind of do... They have this, like, video phone call thing, like, oh, isn't this the future? It's like, no. Back to the Future did that 15 years ago. Yeah. There's so much thing. It's just...
Can you track why they go from the little apartment they're in to seeing that woman about altering their bodies?
Well, let's summarize real quick. So Pluto has bought the bar of his friend. Yeah. 7 years later. Yeah. Pluto has met what's the girl?
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. What's her character's name?
No idea. I didn't even write it down.
They meet. Yeah. She's like, "Hey, I need a ticket to get home." He's like, "Cool." An explosion goes off. Yeah. They're like, "We're on the run now." Yeah. And then they're like, "Well, we should try this." Old Man Withers is like, "Hey, I'm FBI. It's probably this Rex guy." Yeah. And then they're like, "Well, cool. We'll go to this plastic surgery place I don't know.
The fuck is this place?
I don't know.
They look in the mirror and their bodies are like altered poorly.
This is probably the only bit of like, I was like, that's meant to be comedy.
Yeah.
I was like, because they get up and they're like, Eddie Murphy's really muscly.
Yeah.
And
Eddie Murphy being like, you need to get bigger breasts and butt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Oh god, didn't really work. I mean, she's very attractive. Like, I don't know. It just felt really weird.
And he's like, I was playing a character. Blah. I don't know. It's just so boring.
This is probably the most like.
I was like, what? Literally, Roy was like, this is so boring and it makes no sense. Whatever they do next, better like up the ante of the story.
It never does.
And literally, the next scene, Pluto's mum is there.
From Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown from Jackie Brown is in it.
Jackie Brown from the titular role of Jackie Brown.
Rocks up. She's like, I'm your mum. He's like, cool, man, what are you up to? She's
Cut this.
Yeah.
The fuck is this in the movie? She doesn't...
3.5 hours. And they
What would she have done in a longer cut?
I don't know. I thought she might die.
She's there. Literally after this scene, she's gone, and I don't know when she leaves. Did you notice that?
No, I don't.
They're running away, and then suddenly she's just not with them anymore. And then she like calls in and is like, that dude died. Never see her again.
No.
Cut her.
What a waste. There's so much you could cut, but then at the same time, I don't think you'd have a movie.
So I think we should just really jump into the ethical questions that come around John Cleese being in a car.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
Well, I'm confused. Does he feel pain?
Oh yeah, I did.
He was like,
because he
seemed to be the car.
He seemed to be the car,
and he was like, "I'm being kidnapped."
My notice is just John Cleese is a car, because he's this head, and he's like, "Hey, Pluto," because Pluto steals the car. And he's like, "Don't steal me." And then I think he feels pain because there's one scene where he crashes, and he's like his sentient body is left
like,
on the moon to just rot.
It's like harrowing.
I think Charlie Brooker watched this Black Mirror. I was like, yes,
that's the thing. I'm gonna sub out Cleese for ham.
Better.
Yep.
Do you think John Cleese?
Easiest fucking paycheck.
Yeah.
He Iron Manned it.
I'm pretty sure that's what he wears as well, so that's a tick easy.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, who fills up the car with like snacks?
He's very rich. These cars are self-driving, so you can kind of have like a...
Who puts them in?
John Cleese goes to the shops, I assume.
How does... But what, he can't walk?
The car can drive.
So it goes to the shops.
Yeah. The drive-through.
Does the car door like knock on the window? Like it pops out and is like... And they're like, fucking hell, that sentient car is back.
Hello, John Cleese.
Go get some moe and some fucking peanuts and put it in his asshole.
Oh god, why does he moan whenever we do that?
God, I hate how much the car loves having me inside of it.
Pluto gets in, he's just like,
oh
yes, steal me. Steal me.
Oh, I feel so filthy. Oh, the sentient car.
Oh, touch my seats. Speaking of filthy lines, John Cleese is like...
Yeah, I wrote this down. Go on.
Eddie Murphy's like chatting her up, and he like gets her a bottle of like wine, and then John Cleese is like, he's gonna take advantage of her.
Yeah, he's like, what are you gonna do? Get a drunk and rape her? Pretty much. I was like, how the fuck did that stay in?
Because it's PG-13.
Yeah. But I'm like, that's where you decide to use your adult content? It's not, is that it's supposed to be a gag?
I don't know, it seems so dirty, because then he's like, then she's asleep, and Eddie Murphy's like, okay, I won't do anything. John Cleese is like, no, I wanted you to.
Yeah, John Cleese is like, well, so you'll steal a car and fucking fuck me as a car, but you won't do her? Oh, ridiculous.
This car's getting, oh god.
I hate this car. If cars become this, I will walk.
Oh yeah.
I will walk everywhere. I'm not gonna hop in a fucking car where a face pops up and is like, how are you today? Can you imagine you have to become friends with your car?
I'll be furious.
Or you're in your car and it's like, well, I don't like the personality my car has. Can't turn off. Then you've got to make awkward chit chat with your fucking car the entire time.
That. You can't watch a movie.
Shit, yeah.
He talks during the movie.
Yeah, he's like, hey, do you mind like putting something else on? I'm like, no, I'm the fucking alive. Oh my god! Like this is the most.
He's got recommendations. It's just like, oh, you won't like that.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I know we're doing a long road trip, so I picked up like 9 seasons of the OC. I got you a warm and buttery blanket. And we've just got some candied almonds and we're ready to go. And I'm like, but I brought fucking this to watch. And he's like, I've loaded up 9. See, imagine you have like a fucking argument, like a divorced couple in your car the entire way.
Like why you want to watch this movie. Like, come on, let me just watch this.
The car's like, well, I don't want to watch that. Oh.
I'd hate if it's John Cleese as well. He'd be so
this is the other. Is John Cleese every car or just this car?
I think he must be a model, a make. So whoever has this fancy car must have a similar thing.
Because it's not like we saw other Randy Quaid's.
No.
So
I think... but he says he's a model. So I think there's like many versions of this robot. So there must be more John Cleese's. In which case, yuck.
Ugh. Could you imagine? How horny all the machines are, actually. It's the other bit of comedy in this, is all the machines are, like, horny.
Yeah.
Do you remember when, like, Randy Quaid, like, snaps the arm off of a robot that's trying to fuck him?
Oh, it's a slot machine.
Yeah.
And the kind of...
a slot machine, more like it.
Oh, yeah! That's called comedy.
Yeah. Write that down, Pluto Nash.
But, he's the slot machine's like... It kind of, like, sort of works. And he's like, hey... Pull my triggers, big boy. The slot machine's kind of like being promiscuous. And then he just rips her arm off. And she's like, I'm in pain.
It made me so uncomfortable.
It goes on for a while.
Yeah,
this
it does.
Robot's broken.
There's lots of parts that just go on for like a while. They get to like a base on the moon that's like a smuggling port.
Yeah,
for them,
he's just like, hey,
this is the part where I thought it was really sexist. Was like the robot that just goes, oops.
Oh yeah, this robot that looks like a human is dressed in a maid costume, and is the assumption that Eddie Murphy fucks this robot?
Yeah, and he's like, sorry, I forgot the setting was on oops.
Yeah, essentially just this maid robot dropping down and going oops.
But I mean, it's like in terms of like, because one, it's not funny, but like if you were like, there's no setups for payoffs of jokes in this. It's like you think the payoff would then like be like Randy Quaid gets set to oops accidentally or something like that.
Oh, true. Yeah, like something like, oh, ha ha ha.
Like it should play back into it. You can't just go, the robot does oops, and that's your gag, and you never ever return to that.
Because just that, because the movie just made me go, Eddie Murphy has had sexual relations. And I had to envision that.
It made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I had to think that.
Because here's the other thing. The robot can't say no.
No.
So then we've got so many more ethical questions about that.
Yeah, because it just seems... But then the other robots are kind of rapey. Like, what's it called?
Yeah, the robots are fucking weird I don't like...
No.
I just don't like this envisionment of the future. I hate this. Who wants to go to the moon if it's just a casino fucking... I hate it. I really hate it.
It's pretty awful.
How does it work? Are they in a dome?
Yeah, that's the opening. It's like entering normal gravity now.
Okay, yeah.
But cool. It's not great. But then they kind of pitch, like, almost the audience, like, nah, the moon's great. Earth sucks. It got bugs and there's rains and stuff. So this moon's, like, completely sterile.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, no, it's night for 2 weeks.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, it's not all that bad. Stars.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're right. It's so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, but it's stars for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I can't see.
Have you not fucking seen the stars before? They're there.
Every 2 weeks. You probably get tired of them, honestly.
Oh, I know. Honestly, the only joy I had in this movie, that still didn't make me smile, but I went, oh, it's Alec Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, he did not want to be credited in this. He petitioned very hard and won. He's not credited in this.
Do you reckon he's in more and they cut him out?
Yeah, maybe, because, like, essentially, like, so yeah, they're at the bunker, and then they're like, hey, we got this tape of this guy who might be Rex, and they just show Alec Baldwin show up. He's walking off a plane. Pretty funny bit. He just
pushes somebody down and then hits on another, like, publication.
Yeah. Honestly, best 15 seconds, and he's gone. I guess maybe he was meant to be, like, properly, like
more of a red herring?
Yeah. Because, like, at this moment, you're kind of like... Probably not Alec Baldwin.
How the fuck was this stretched to 3 hours?
I got no clue.
This is what I don't get. This is what I don't get in Hollywood. It was like the same things happening with that Snyder cut at the moment.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, this is the true envisionment of it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so I get that. But as a studio, you don't make your movie 3.5 hours and that's the only way that the movie works.
Mm.
Like, you know that's not going to be a viable, like, option.
Wait, how so? You saying...
Well, I mean, I'm like, you don't go, hey, you're going to write a Justice League script. And they go, cool, here's 3 hours and 3.5 hours of content. You go, well, I asked you to write a movie, redo the story, but do it shorter, so that then you're not stuck trying to make a shorter film out of what was filmed. Like, I don't know why they shot the 3.5 hours.
No, exactly. Why? Because I get there's like some things. All right, that doesn't work. We can cut that out, editing stuff. But cutting down 3.5, like 2 hours gone.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna have a good story. There's gonna be bits missing. There's gonna be a lot of like issues, character development. I don't know. Why is that industry standard?
Like, well, I don't know. Like because I watched the Snyder cut of the Batman versus Superman, which is like an hour longer or 30 minutes longer or something, and it does make so much more sense. But I'm like, as a screenwriter, don't make a movie so long that it can only make sense when it's at its completed length. Yeah, you're a screenwriter, you should know to keep the movie to like around 2 hours. I guess, but their thought was this is a big film. I know, but it's like it took like Marvel a decade and 20-something movies to get them to go, this is a 3-hour film, everyone's going to see it. You don't get to go, well, I've just made a 3-hour Batman versus Superman film that's like bleak and full of CGI and is inconsistent. No, of course, but at the start, I'm sure the pitch was like, yes, it's 3.5 hours long. They watched that for The Dark Knight. Let's give them Superman as well, extra hour. It's not. I get why they do it. I just don't get why they then came back and edited out half of them now. I just can't be like. I can't imagine being a producer that's about to sink $200 million plus in like the last movie before it barely broke even with 600 million. You double down on it and you go make it even an hour longer. Did it make how much money did it? I thought it did. Did it do okay? It did fine. It did like 800 million. Yeah. But in terms of like a Batman and Superman movie, it should be hitting like $1 billion. They're an established brand. Easily. If you've got like Black Panther making like 1.5 billion and nobody's ever really heard of him, like that's the strength of that brand. Yeah. Marvel's done a great job getting people to want to watch people watch anything that's got a Marvel film. Yeah. Like, you clearly don't have, like, no. It's just, I don't get how anybody gets the right to, make a script that's 180 pages. It's too long. Yeah. Oh, there's reasons to, but, like, I can't imagine... Yeah. I can't imagine this going, I've got a great idea about a guy whose nightclub blows up on the moon. And you're like, great, how long does it go for? Oh, it's 180 pages. That's the thing. I think starting off, because we're in the 80s, maybe it could work. Eddie Murphy. I don't hate the idea. I just hate the idea that someone would go, cool, we're going to take that, we're going to make it 2 hours. Like, commit to a 3-hour movie. But I don't think... Are you saying that like an audience shouldn't be expected to like watch a 3-hour movie? I'm just saying, like, if you're making a film for Hollywood, like today in this day and age... and it's 3 hours long, like... You gotta have a reason. Yeah, you've gotta have something about it. Like, I mean, I think we expect... Like, I'm always like, it's 2 hours, 30 minutes, that's a longish film. Yeah. I think 2.5 hours should be, like, kind of like your max that you're hitting. Yeah. I don't know... Like, very rarely am I watching a 3-hour film and I'm going... You've chosen the right medium for this. Definitely, yes. Like, I'm like... No, 100%. There's a lot of films that I'm kind of... Could be a short series, but then they don't make that much money. But yeah, definitely, I get what you're saying there. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much any movie over 2.5 hours is shit. No. But it's like, I kind of get like, with The Irishman, you witness a full life. Completely, and I think that movie does feel long, but because it feels long, it feels like you've actually experienced the life. Yeah, and then the payoff at the end of like him being like, I'm tired, no one loves me, I'm alone. You're kind of like, well, I guess, I mean, I was with you for 3.5 hours. I get that this is how, like, you know, like, and I think there's like a point to... Martin Scorsese, they've got a bit of leeway, like, a newcomer, I don't know but here's the thing, is that Netflix were the ones that were like, well, nobody else wants to make your 3.5 hour gangster movie that costs a shit ton of money, so we'll make it for you. Yeah. Like, so a studio was smart enough there to go, well, that's not going to make any money. Like, I don't... Would you think their intention was just sort of to make
get some Oscar bait? Do you think that was what they were trying to do?
For that, oh yeah, Netflix fucking wants an Oscar, of course.
Yeah.
But they also want, like, if you have Martin Scorsese making a movie and he brags about it being easy to make a movie with Netflix, like, it's infectious to other filmmakers that are like, cool, they'll might fund my dream project or something like that I know another studio won't like do.
Yeah.
But it just, I think it should be when you've pitched a concept to a studio and the studio's gone, okay, we're going to greenlight that. I don't think that you should be so confident as to make a 3.5 hour script and go shoot it all and go, it's very dense though, so you just know that if you cut shit out, the rest of it crumbles.
Yeah. Gotcha. I agree.
No, I'm upset.
Yeah, so what we're demanding is a 3-hour Pluto Nash.
Where's the Murphy cut of Pluto Nash? Give it to me.
He re-recorded he's directed 20% of this.
Yeah.
Which is so his cut is this.
Is this why he's never fucking wanted to direct?
He didn't promote this film. Everyone refused to.
Because that was what I was gonna say. The other thing is I don't get how you make $100 million film and it opens so low.
That was the thing. No one promoted it.
Yeah.
Just the director promoted it. I felt pretty bad for him. He was just like, I made a movie. Everyone.
Did it kill his career? Did he do anything else?
That's the saddest part. It's honestly like a Cat in the Hat situation. He just went.
Alec Baldwin's a returning guest.
Oh my God.
Who would watch this?
Oh,
put in a queue.
I'm not gonna put anything there.
No, do like a Hallelujah queue.
Oh my God, you want me to edit? Okay, fine. Yep.
I'm not upset about cutting you off.
That's fine.
Go on.
The director hasn't done a movie since and just does TV now, which is like a different
good TV.
Yeah, good TV, but it's not his show. He does he does one episode of like the OC, just good shows, but you're not he's a competent person at directing a film, but has no creative say. Yeah, and it's crushing. Yeah.
Fair. So although it's I don't know how you pluck a director like him and go, he can make a $100 million people-pleasing blockbuster. Yeah. Sometimes you're always odd. I get the
Do you think they push for it? They kind of go, well, I do this, it makes a lot of money, I can then do my passion project. That's kind of their plan.
Yeah, I don't know. Just it was with Doolittle, where that director clearly showed that he'd never worked on a budget that scale with that much CGI, and you're as a studio's well, he's right for the job. And I'm well, I don't know why you would push for him when you could get somebody that's done something similar that I'm sure would succeed. It's why wouldn't you get Jon Favreau? Or something like that. Somebody that's made a CGI heavy, 100%. Whimsical family
I feel
film.
if you're going to make stop motion, Charlie Kaufman made, what's it called? Anomalisa. And was hey, I can't do stop motion. I'm going to work with a director of stop motion. Yeah. So I can do the things that I want to do, but when I have to do something stop motion-y, he can step in and go, this is how we do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, smash cut right back into the plot.
Ugh. I hate it. The only reason we talk so long is I just don't even want to talk about this.
I don't really want to talk about anything.
The maid gets stripped by the air pressure of the moon.
Yeah, so the first exciting thing happens.
Is it?
The guy show up and shoot an RPG. I was kind of oh, something. And then literally, probably the most boring action scene happens for about 5 minutes. They just kind of shoot.
Yeah,
just imagine a shooting scene.
The wire work's awful. The gravity, No.
What
it looks like they're on string. Their buoyancy is completely off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Don't compare it to gravity. Definitely on a similar playing field.
This guy may have annoyed. The space suits are a 2001 reference, right? They look That's upsetting. Don't drag that film into it. Ridiculous.
This is Stanley Kubrick's passion project is Adventures of Pluto Nash.
But do you notice that when they're in the fight scene, it's like the crater in 2001? It's the exact same, it might be the same, I don't think it'd be the same set that's 30 years old, but it's so similar. And the fact that this film was hey, 2001, just don't even, stupid. It's a lot of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just so...
He's with his friend from the beginning of the movie. He sings a song and then he sings another song. I'm like, there's too many songs. They're like, hey, I want to meet the dude. Am I skipping over any of your points? Or... I've literally just gone to the end.
You've gone to the end. What do you mean? You missed the point where they have a chase scene. Boring. They fly off a cliff. John Cleese's head is chopped off, and I thought, oh, he's dead. He's not dead.
Yeah, I thought he died.
He didn't, and he's almost worse fate. He's stuck on the moon.
Yeah, because you know what? He can't die, so it means he lives his eternity there.
Yeah, which is almost a crueler fate.
Yeah.
You've skipped the point of the movie when maybe it could get better. Pluto and the girl are dying. They've run out of oxygen. The robot picks them up. The robot then runs out of power. You kind of think, maybe they're dead. That'd be nice.
I've written that later too. I went, I hope he dies.
But then probably, and how dare you, Luis Guzman shows up.
He's fucking trying. I love Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not utilized in this, but like, good on him. Good on him for
he shows up, saves the day.
Yeah.
At this point, in my notes, I'm just so angry because it's like, Luis Guzman is like, hey man, you should be such a cool smuggler. And then at this point, it's like, he was a smuggler. His smuggling story seems so much cooler. Like,
yeah.
Like, it seems like such a much cool... It's like they've got, like, Han Solo, but, like, 20 years after Star Wars, when he's retired, he's bought a bar, and he's got, like, errands to run, and that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's what they filmed. Instead of his amazing smuggling stories. It's just... What a pointless thing.
Yeah.
They go to the moon casino.
Yeah, we go to the moon casino.
You're falling asleep. I'm not upset. Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah, I'm not. I am jealous. You're fucking getting drunk talking about this. I've got to drive. I've just got to put up with it. I've been reading my notes and I'm like, I feel like I'm reliving it. I hate it. I hated this fucking movie so much.
But I can't, like, pinpoint anything.
Well, it's just so...
Just overall.
It's like, so lazy and boring and unimaginable. Like, I can't handle it. The twist happens. What do you think of the twist? Did you pick it?
No.
Because I thought...
But, like...
I went, because they'd done shit. They talked about the cloning and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I went, if I was doing this movie, I would put, like, some clones in or whatever.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy would be a clone.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and I went, oh, they did the thing that I thought would be cool, and it's not.
It's not cool. They kind of just reveal probably the most exciting part of the movie.
It's the only part where I went, oh.
Eddie Murphy, for the first time, shows up, and he has to be different to his character, so he's happy, he's smiling, doing his comedic thing.
Yeah.
It's probably the best, and, like, they have this, like we said, it looks expensive, because they do it, like, in 2002, like, it was actually filmed in 2000, so, like, flawlessly, like, walk around this table. It looks great.
Yeah, it does.
I just
really
thought,
good.
fuck, it must have been so expensive and someone's job for years
just
to do that.
It really bugged me, the conceit of getting them both in the same clothes. Like, I don't get how this lucked out that they both wore the same clothes.
Ridiculous.
They're like, it's a black tie event. He hired one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck are you wearing identical clothes?
Oh, I have so many issues with this. He owns the casino. He's orchestrated him to come here. Don't give yourself the tux. He says his tux is very expensive, and he goes, that's a poor rented tux.
Yeah.
But it's the same tux. Why didn't clone Eddie Murphy put a sticker on his head? Why didn't he do, like, anything? He must have gone, oh, crap. We look exactly the same. You know
what I'd love is if they would have, like, because it becomes so predictable and lazy in terms of it. If there's always a clone fight, it always comes down into who's the real one, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be funny if he walked in immediately and he went, I'm going to take off my tie so we know which one I am.
Oh, literally.
Or something like that. Something clever that calls out that they're not going to do the fucking cliched thing.
Yeah.
But they do.
They do.
But, you know.
And, like, I don't really get how it really happens. They're both sort of like, I'm Eddie Murphy, and then the henchmen just shoot the luck out, really.
Although he shoots Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
And they're like, so it'd be the other guy. Because why would the guy that likes Randy Quaid shoot Randy Quaid?
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
I totally missed that. That's
Because
kind
he's
of
like,
clever.
he's like,
I'll
he was
give
basically like, if I was the real one,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't care about, and they shoot him, and then Randy Quaid, and I was like, could be interesting the fact that he's gone. Well, he's a robot, so clearly my life's more important.
Yeah.
But it was like, I'm wearing a vest anyway, or something along those
Oh
lines.
yeah. What a lame.
But then he doesn't even die because the other one's wearing a vest because they both wear vests because
Yeah.
they're both the same. They have both the same thoughts. How do they grow? How do they say they grow them? They grow them from like his liver.
Yeah. So when he's in
So
jail,
why does he have the same thoughts?
They say that in such a small line, like I have your thoughts. I think that's it.
Yeah, because you know what it does is it totally breezes away so many of the plot holes.
Oh, literally.
By going, oh, that's why we knew everywhere we needed to go.
Mm.
Because I thought,
I
basically
went,
thought like
oh, I know
you.
I have a henchman.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a hideout. I'll go
Yeah, yeah.
there.
And I'm like, fine.
I'll wear a bulletproof vest because that's what I know you do.
Yeah. Which is like, there's like a moment where they almost do it. Something clever, which is the fact they both fight exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh, there's a great shot where there's a mirror. Eddie Murphy punches the mirror.
Yeah.
It breaks, and the actual
punches him. Yeah.
That's honestly, I'm like, great. That's about it, though.
Yeah. Anyway, that happens. He falls off a building.
Into
what does the twist mean or do? What does it contribute?
nothing. I don't know. Like, honestly, he could have lived his whole. I would have preferred it if like he was so nonchalant about his clone running the world. It'd be kind of funny if he was just like he knew, and he just thought like his boss was just a clone. I don't know. It's just nothing. Because it's not like it doesn't do anything. The stakes aren't raised. We're literally right back where we start.
It's like, but why couldn't Eddie Murphy assume? Why couldn't Pluto Nash assume his position and rule the moon?
Because he has no needs or wants. He's just
So
like
it is Alec Baldwin. Is it? Wait, no, it's not Alec Baldwin with Alec Baldwin was the red herring. It's not
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin's turned into Eddie Murphy.
no.
Right, it's
No,
just the
'cause-
creator
no.
the clone.
Yeah. So the old business person, I think, might actually been what's it called?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. Sorry. Yeah. I think he died.
Yeah.
Oh no, so he cloned Pluto Nash so he could like be a smuggler
Why wouldn't he clone himself?
because he wanted to be smuggling. He wanted to use his from his smuggling.
Right.
Stuff.
So he
And
was
then-
like, oh, okay. So Eddie Murphy was in jail,
Yeah.
and he was like, I'm gonna pretend like Eddie Murphy. It's very messy. And
Yeah. So then Eddie Murphy's clone overtakes him, shoots him, and it's kind of like, well, hey guys, I'm the boss now, and he gets away with it.
Yeah. This movie's pointless.
This is so pointless. It also ends in the most 2000 way with song number.
Yep. He finally smokes his cigar, I guess.
The robots
Yep.
kind of like the slaves, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's pretty depressing. He's
Yeah.
like one of the this says I want to say his name's Dennis, but it's not Dennis.
Who?
The robot.
Bruno.
Bruno, yeah. Is like, oh, no robot's ever been in management before, and it just
Yeah.
feels like a bit.
Well, what about when he was like, I've bought a new bodyguard, and he's like, cool, I'll dismantle myself, and goes like, snap his
Oh,
neck.
yeah.
I was like, fucking do it, you
Do it.
coward.
It's the
Kill
end of the movie.
yourself.
It ends.
Yeah. Alright, final thoughts.
I don't get it. And I know this podcast is who would watch this. I haven't got like I think the budget the revenue makes up for it. I don't
Clearly only $7 million worth of people
yeah.
are interested in it, which is, I don't know, if like a ticket's $12, it's not many people.
No. I looked at reviews and I looked on Letterboxd because I was like, because I like looking beforehand to see like what the 5-star reviews are. There's none, so no one loves the film. The highest rating I could find was a 2.5, and someone said it's not that bad. I watched it twice. That's the best response. That's it. I'm pretty it's gonna be a short episode.
It cut me. It really cut me
Yeah.
down. I didn't smile once. I mean, this is like a lifeless, joyless, boring,
I refuse
repetitive and derivative movie of
Yeah.
better films from its time. There's not an ounce of imagination. You're building a whole new society on the moon. Nothing's clever.
That
Nothing's
sounds
original.
it's just it feels
Nothing's fun. It's not.
No.
Nothing's fun or exciting.
I would have preferred a shitty comedy. At least do some shit
Yeah.
jokes.
This is the worst film we've done on the podcast so far.
And why would you call that? Because I think there's films I wouldn't want to watch again. But
I
agree with
would.
you.
I
agree with
would. Before this, I probably thought My Teacher, My Obsession might have been the worst one.
Yeah.
Would rather watch that over this. I'm considering changing My Teacher, My Obsession to a 1-star film because I think this is a half-star film.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a redeeming quality.
I think I'm giving it a 1 because I think the production design. I'm like, there's feel like technically there's like, it's a film. And that's the only thing I can kind of say. It's not really, but it's a film. Some of the sets are nice. That's
yeah, but it's like I enjoyed looking at the sets because this film's so flat.
Right? It's so like, I don't know, it's like, it feels like there's no color correction. It feels like they just kind of were on set and it was just an iPhone filming around like, hey, this is the set.
Yeah.
It's just nothing, no interesting angles. No,
it's very
nothing.
grey.
For such a
Colours.
colourful world.
Yeah, it's very muted.
I feel like the casino on a moon should be the definition of like too colourful. Like it's annoying.
Like it should be the vibrancy of Futurama or something like that, you know? And it's just not. Ugh, I hate it. I am not going to dignify it with a sequel idea. I would not want to watch a sequel to this.
No. I saw actually one funny one. Someone was like a sequel where Eddie Murphy tries to stop himself making this film.
Sure.
Sure, that's it.
The Adventures of Eddie Murphy killing Pluto Nash.
Killing Pluto Nash.
Alright, let's go. Who do you think would watch this?
I was thinking about this like the last 2 days, and like I've said before, I don't know. I can't think of an Eddie Murphy fan, like just like a genuine like response, like.
Yeah, if you've liked The Haunted Mansion and Norbit,
yeah,
maybe you'll find. I think he's so un-Eddie Murphy in it. Like he's so much more tired
he's
in
so
this
straight.
than he is in.
He's so like he just does. He's like the most one-dimensional character. He has no flaws.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who would watch this? Fuck those 7 million people. The direct no. I got no one. Like genuinely, like this is why the film is so like hated and like poorly reviewed. It's because like I don't think it doesn't like it's not even like a little like haha. I think it's funny. There's just like there's no target audience for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
Look, I think if you watched Valerian and you wanted it to be more boring, this. I think if
and less French.
If you hate what's the Dane DeHaan,
yeah,
and you were like, I wish Eddie Murphy was in Valerian. This, I think if Eddie Murphy annoys you, watch this because he's so calm and not like Eddie Murphy.
He is.
Yeah. And I think if you are a huge fan of science fiction films, and you're like, I loved Blade Runner 2049 and Interstellar and things like that, but they were just too exciting. Watch Pluto Nash. It's the most boring science fiction film ever made, and if you're looking for something with a slow pace and no payoff and no excitement, The Adventures of Pluto Nash is
It's
for you.
literally Blade Runner 2049 with none of the subtlety. It's just another cinematography. It's just slow and it's set in space.
At 90 minutes. At like 90 minutes and a very long credits. It's so like a long opening credits and a long closing credits.
I think about 70 minutes of film.
It's so slow. It's
I refused
so
to pause
boring.
it. I was just like, I need to get through this.
God, after watching this, I had an issue with my laptop and I spent maybe 6 hours trying to fix my laptop.
Was that more entertaining?
Yeah. There were twists and turns. There was YouTube I had a fucking ball. In comparison to this, I was on a goddamn high. I was like, it's involving. I'm doing things. Other people.
I saw a character on a YouTube site. Yeah. Oh, thank God! Motivation.
It was so much more entertaining. Being like, look, I'm trying to solve a problem. You know what? I had to go. Unlike Pluto Nash, I, as a character in fixing my computer, had to overcome adversity because I couldn't. And I didn't know how to fix a computer. And I learned.
And you learned.
I learned. And at the end of the day, did I fix it? No. I couldn't get it to
Don't
work.
spoil it. We've live streamed the whole thing, and it's under the link down below. Carl fixing a computer for 6.5 hours.
It's me on tech support going, I don't know what to fucking do. I need to get shit out of the laptop.
Did Pluto Nash break your computer?
Maybe. I didn't even dignify it. I chose to watch it on the smallest screen possible. Had I owned a Nano, I would have watched on that, but I watched it on my iPhone.
Oh.
Had I owned, you know those little shuffles
The
that don't even
shuffles.
have a screen? I would have fucking rather watched it on that and listened to it. Which I'm pretty sure I said about many of the films where I'm like, I would have rather listened to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even have interesting sound design. Fuck this film!
Oh, yeah, there's like one song in it, and it's like a bad cover of Dancing in the Moonlight. Bad pun, by the way.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, I was like, what a weird couple. Like, it was like they're trying to be futuristic music without...
Futuristic, so it's just kind of dancing in the moon. Like...
Yeah, they were
that's
like,
it.
how do we make it interesting? And they're like, slow it down.
Yeah.
It's the same person that came up with the idea of like, everybody dance, and hold it, go! Everybody dance. Oh, I hate it. Hate the future. If our future turns into this, fuck it. I don't want to be alive for this.
I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
The only note for this film, like notable point is that it's made the biggest bomb in history. And weirdly, it's got Hillary Clinton on the money.
Yeah, and Donald Trump realty?
Yeah. Which
Weird.
is weird. I was like looking up a line, I thought it'd be like a fun conspiracy. No one really has anything. It's just like, that's weird.
Yeah. What, do you think there's a worst movie that we've done yet? Is there one that you like?
I think there's like, what, like it's such a strange one, because this is like the definition of bland. Like, I think, like, I wouldn't watch Holmes and Watson again.
I'd watch Holmes and Watson before this.
There's like, but like, this is just like, I don't know. I watched it and I forgot everything. I had to watch a YouTube tutorial. It was a summary
on teaching you how to remember.
Yeah, literally, just like
you're like, oh, I've got my little place in my mind, and I've got a giant.
It's just so. It's the definition of like forgettable, and just like a blockbuster. I don't know. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. What was your palate cleanser? Give me something good.
We both went and saw Bill and Ted 3.
Oh, you did, yeah.
We had fun, didn't we?
We did have a lot of fun.
At the cinema.
We did. Look at us at the cinema. Not bragging, but we are.
I got a big popcorn. I got a big drink. Had an ice confectionery. We saw it in a cinema. We almost had it to ourselves, and this old woman walked in.
Sat so close to us. It was very strange.
But, you know, for a 30-year sequel, I thought it was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was genuinely, like, in comparison to this, it was pretty fun. It's a lot more clever than I thought it was going to be. A lot more involving and fun. And
well, the new characters are great. Well, the two girls were fantastic.
Two girls were great. Dennis is really good.
Oh, yeah.
The robot. I think it was like a really good... Like, so often when they do these soft kind of reboots or these long-awaited sequels, and they also bring in, like... This is what I thought did a really great job at, like, integrating female characters into a male-centric franchise.
100%.
Like, I thought they did it really
just
good.
From the 80s, it's a bit dated.
Yep.
And it comes back in, and I feel like those characters can be they could be so annoying. But these, like, female, like, kind of stoners they're so much fun.
Yeah, like, they are. Like, I think they've done a really good job at going if the movie was big.
Yeah.
Doing a spin-off with them. And I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Because I like them. I thought they were fun. So yeah, I recommend on Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
if you're a fan of Bill and Ted. But I also think they do a pretty good job at keeping it modern and quickly paced.
I've only seen the first, haven't seen the second.
Yeah, I think they do a pretty good job making it accessible.
I think so too, definitely.
Yeah.
I think you could walk into... Because, I mean, it's not like a massive franchise. Like, it's a big
it's a cult.
Yeah, so I think people just accidentally walk in... Because Keanu Reeves is so big at the moment. I think people will watch it. I mean, maybe not now, but...
No, not because of COVID. But I feel like the fact that it didn't kind of get to actually have a proper release in cinemas keeps that whole trilogy is like so cult. Like, it's such a cult trilogy.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, none of them really get to branch out into the mainstream.
No.
So, yeah.
It's nice. I mean, it wasn't hidden, but it's... Yeah, it's just... It's what's tucked away there.
Yeah.
Hopefully it made a lot of money. Hopefully it made its budget back. That's what I hope.
Probably won't. Because, I mean, it got released on video on demand.
Did it?
Yeah.
Crushing.
So, in America. But yeah, what's your palate cleanser? Or did I steal yours?
No, that was it. And I watched Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah.
Again. For like the first time in like 6 years.
Who does he verse?
What do you mean? The Seven Deadly...
No, it's Scott Pilgrim versus the
the
World.
My mistake.
Say the full title.
I'm such a
Boo.
goddamn fool. It's weird watching it, like,
Yep.
being, like, in your 20s, because I watched it so much as a 17-year-old and loved it, didn't really get the ending. Rewatched it, went, oh, Scott's a cunt.
Yeah.
Didn't pick up that as a child.
Yeah.
Because, like, being, like, 17, I was like, Knives, that's fine. But, yeah, no, he's, like, a prick.
Yeah, he is.
Wow, never picked up on that. Yeah, just, like, great film, if you haven't seen it. Edgar Wright. I don't know, I really liked it, but I think it's better now. I don't know, it's given, like, a different meaning to it now. Because you're not rooting for him, really, but I guess you kind of are. Does it get, like, have you seen it recently?
I probably watched it like 3 years ago.
Because he kind of, like, what do you think of the ending? Because he kind of gets redeemed.
He gets a bit redeemed. My main takeaway from the ending is when he kills that guy and he's like, ooh, coins! He starts picking up coins. I don't know why, I always thought it was the best part of the movie.
Oh,
and just Michael Cera's inflection of coins!
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun rewatch. I'm going through my letterbox and sort of looking at my, like, 5-star films. I'm like, and 4.5. I'm like, is this worth this?
So did it keep its...
I think it's going to. I definitely think
What was it, a 5 or a 4.5?
It was a 4.5.
Yeah.
I probably, if I watched it now, I think maybe I'd give it like a 4. But like a bit of nostalgia is keeping it up there. But yeah, I think it's really good and I think it's quite creative. I've not read the comics, but apparently it's a great adaptation.
Yeah.
So I think I'll keep it up there.
I always thought it was weird that it has, because it's based on a comic book, but it keeps all the video game stuff in it.
Because it doesn't, it's got like some comic book elements, like sort of the split screens and stuff, but it's mainly video game.
Yeah, but I mean, haven't read the comic book, so I don't know if it's super video game inspired or if Edgar Wright brought that to the movie.
I feel like it might be because one of the characters is very obsessed, so that might be one of the things. But yeah,
has a phenomenal cast.
Oh my god, they're all so famous.
Yeah,
now. So and like sure they were famous. It's 10 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, like, if you had looked at that and you went like, two of those two actors in that aren't the main actors are going to become like huge.
Oh yeah, Brie Larson, Chris Evans.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick's in it, right?
Anna Kendrick's in it. Audrey Plaza's in it.
Yeah. Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
Kieran Culkin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who else is in it?
Jason Schwartzman.
He is. He's the villain.
Yeah. So yeah.
Great villain. I didn't know like at 17 like who he really was. And I was like, he's good. But then, like honestly, what a bold move for him.
Yeah, right.
That was great.
I
really
keen for Edgar Wright's horror film that he's got, the Last Night in Soho, which got delayed because of the pandemic. You know, we could be getting all these movies if other countries got their shit together. Because Australia's just fucking waiting for new content.
Well, except Victoria.
Oh, yeah. We'll keep it hush-hush on Victoria.
Yeah, but we're doing great.
Yes, New South Wales, we only had one case the other day, so...
And these podcasts come out 2 weeks later, so
hopefully... Yeah, so if shit goes downhill, know that we'll
be editing this out. Do not worry.
That's right. Anything else that you want to say?
No.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there because I watched another film that wasn't great, but I did think it was a great deal of fun, and it was the new Vin Diesel one called Bloodshot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it's insanely silly and stupid, and I was annoyed the trailer ruined the twist. But it actually has a really good twist.
Yeah. You're not going to spoil it on this, or you...
No, I will.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
Because it's in the trailer. I actually think I'm sure the movie probably works, but it's not good, but it could have been really good, I think, which is, it's kind of like riffing on the superhero stuff a bit. And he is somebody that we know that it all starts out and it's a super generic sci-fi-ish spy action thing where, like Vin Diesel's wife is like murdered and then he like, he's killed and then he wakes up and he's got like blood transfusions and stuff, so he can't get hurt anymore.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and seeks vengeance on the person that killed his wife, kills them, blah, 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 and there's a whole operation behind it that's like, no, you're going rogue, you're supposed to be doing something else. But it turns out what they've been doing is wiping his memory, implanting a different face on each person that kills his wife, and then just letting him go out and assassinate good people.
Oh.
Which is like an interesting... And they don't do anything interesting with that. Yeah. But I thought that was like a fun twist. And then they keep calling out how the first third of the movie was so generic, in terms of the fact that some guys like because the villain like has Vin Diesel and his wife like in one of those frozen meat things where the big things of meat and the guy comes in, there's music playing, like dances his way down to him. Like it's just super generic and Tarantino-ish and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like this nerd wrote the script and they're just like, you couldn't have been more cliche in killing off of the wife. Like they just kind of riff on how.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, there's so much more here to this that there could have been.
But then they just didn't.
Oh, and then it like becomes generic. It's mainly the twist that makes it special. And they fucking spoil it in the trailer, but like it's still like fun and dumb enough, like Triple X or something like that. If you like dumb Vin Diesel movies,
that's so much
this
fun.
This is fun for you. Yeah. All right, Oscar. What are we going to be reviewing next week?
Next week we're going to be talking about Darkness Falls 2020. Not the 2003 version.
Ah, good shout. Good
Yeah.
shout. Shawn Ashmore, isn't it?
You'd be correct.
Yes, I like Shawn Ashmore. He's
Yeah.
in the original X-Men films, and he's in that game that we play.
Oh yeah, Madam and Dan.
Yeah, Madam and Madame. So,
Very exciting. Well,
yeah, very excited. I don't know why you've picked this. We'll go into it next week.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yep. Sure. I love that it's 84 minutes. 'Cause if it has a big opening credits and a big closing credits, it could be a tight 60.
Oh yeah.
That's what I love these bad movies.
That's
to
why
be.
I love Pluto Nash. And on that note.
Oh, well, no. No, definitely not.
No. All right.
All right. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you. See you guys next week.
Bye. Alright guys, thank you for listening. Tell your friends about us. Maybe one day we'll read out your weather. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube.
And if you have a film you'd like us to review or questions you'd like to ask, email us at askwwwtpodcast@gmail.com.
You can leave us 5 stars on iTunes or any sort of praise anywhere. It helps new listeners find us and our egos grow.
Alternatively, don't do anything and see if we care.
Yep, ball's in your court.
Thanks for listening.
See you next week.